AI for qualitative analysis? First, you came up with your hypothesis before using AI, whether by talking to your boss, your client, or reading the news, or because you just had an idea. You should only use AI once it's clear to you what you want to do, what data you need to analyze, and what conclusions you expect to reach. In other words, preparation and the hypothesis first, and then AI. They're just hypotheses, you don't have to be right before you start. For example, you have a hypothesis that automating the HR department will save time and money, speeding up processes and avoiding mistakes. Okay, cool. You know you need to understand the HR process and how it connects with other areas. The inputs, what comes into HR, the activities, what is done within the department, and its outputs, what comes out of HR. Now you sit down and use AI to ask questions and help you out. You can ask, what are the best practices for this? Or what impacts that? Or what automation or AI tools are recommended for this? Or how long will it take for such a thing? Remember to always check the AI's results against reality. You will use the AI insights as a starting point and support for your actual mapping, which means talking to people. In this HR example, the analysis and conclusions must always be yours. AI is the starting point and a baseline for comparison, not the final solution. And remember to ask the AI what sources of information it used to give you those answers. Using AI means not being mentally lazy. It's a support tool to help you gather information, a baseline to compare your analysis, and a sanity check for your conclusions. For example, you want to know the trends in the startup market. Cool, it gives you an overview, but you are the one who has to connect the dots and know what to do with that information. Or for example, you want to know if your presentation looks good or you need to translate an email. AI helps you, but it shouldn't do the work for you. The bare minimum you should do is check if the presentation put together for you is on point and make your tweaks, or read the email that translated to see if it actually makes sense. AI supports you and saves time. Time that you would have spent collecting data, researching for information, reading and comparing texts, etc. The real-world experience is always yours. Therefore, the conclusions and recommendations must come from your head. Remember, if you use the AI, others, your boss, client, peers, whatever, might have used it to challenge you. To know more, for more details and other examples, check out Perspectives 33B.